Because what's happening is your brain is detecting potential threats. These potential threats could be real or they could be imagined. Irrespective if they're imagined or if they're real, they will ignite the fight, flight, freeze, and fawn response mode. One of those ways it will go. Hello and welcome back. Now, just before we get started, if you're watching this on the Total Somatics YouTube channel, please could you like, share, subscribe, and press the notification bell. So every time an episode is released, you get told very quickly. And also, just to share with you, if you haven't already checked it out, my TEDx talk on the subject of pandiculation. You can go to YouTube and put in the search bar TEDx Heidi Hadley, and up will pop my TEDx talk. And if you do check it out, please could you give me a thumbs up, put a comment in there, and share it with anyone else that you know it will resonate with. Okay, so let us start with today's subject. And I want to talk about a subject that impacts millions of people globally every single day, and that is anxiety. So, anxiety can show up in so many ways. It can be through racing thoughts, shallow breathing, can have a really tight chest, or we could have that restless energy where we just feel like we cannot settle. And so, although talking therapies can be useful, there is a missing piece that we need to consider here, because we can talk the talk. However, we're missing out on something really important, and that is your body. You see, anxiety doesn't just live in your mind, it inhabits your body. It imprints on every single muscle, every single cell of your body, and it patterns and changes the state of your nervous system. So, through total somatic movement and mindfulness, we can learn how to release these patterns of tension from the inside out, which cause issues related to anxiety. And if we have experienced anxiety, we need to just, again, reframe things and understand here that our body's just trying to protect us. Because what's happening is your brain is detecting potential threats. These potential threats could be real or they could be imagined. Irrespective if they're imagined or if they're real, they will ignite the fight, flight, freeze, and fawn response mode. One of those ways it will go. And as a result of that, your muscles will tighten, your heart rate will increase, and your breathing will become faster. Because what's happening is your body is preparing you for this impending doom or danger. There is an issue, though, and that is that in modern life, many people are getting stuck in this nervous system state. So it becomes this vicious cycle. And as a result, we just live in it. It becomes our new normal. And so even though we can get to a point that we know that we're safe, intellectually, we know we're safe, our body hasn't always caught up with this. And so we get stuck in this stress cycle. And that's why total somatic movement practices, it's so powerful, because it's teaching your body how to actually complete that stress response and return to that safety state within our body. Total somatic movements is looking at how we can use your body's natural movement patterns to release and discharge this trauma and this anxiety that has built within us. Just consider the animal kingdom for a moment, because many of the animals, they're vertebrate animals just like us. When they encounter stress and trauma and real fright and fear, watch an animal shake and discharge off that stress and that emotion. They're releasing and regulating their nervous system. That's something that humans just don't do unless you know how to do it. As a result of that, what humans are doing instead are suppressing or ignoring these sensations. And instead of that, they're living in a free state, a high functioning anxiety state. They just clench their jaw, should I say, and internalize things. And they'll just keep carrying on. They'll just keep going. That's what they will keep saying. But, total somatic movement, what we want to look at in that aspect is what we can do to actually retrain your brain to sense, to feel, to move, and to release through using mindful, gentle, nurturing, clinical somatic movements, we're not going to be stretching, we're not going to be forcing. We want to do intelligent work that's going to regulate our nervous system, and we don't get that with stretching, and we don't get that with forcing. When you learn to pandiculate, this is your natural contraction and release reflex that you have. Again, that's what the animal kingdom do. They pandiculate, they don't stretch. And so we are allowing your brain to reset muscle tone and tension. And what that's doing is sending a signal of safety through to your entire body. That's really, really important for us to consider. We need to feel safe from within. And many people will say to you after they've done total somatic movement, how they feel calmer and they feel more grounded. That can just be within a few minutes. And that's because we've shifted the state of their nervous system, and we've discharged and we've released a lot of that anxiety that's been imprinted within their tissues. But I'd like us to consider also a little bit of a mindset reframe on anxiety, because often an anxious mind will use the expression, what if? It's like, what if this happens? What if I fail? What if this doesn't work? Can I get you to change that narrative and just gently and encourage yourself to switch it to what is? Because if we go from a catastrophizing statement to what is, and then we look at open opportunities for growth and improvement, we shift and we change and use the front part of our brain. That's our emotional intelligence. That's our focus, awareness, concentration, decision making. We can rationalize, we can have greater insight when we use our prefrontal cortex. And that's what we start to do when we ask ourselves questions with an opportunity to grow and develop. That becomes really empowering for us. So what we could ask ourselves is, what is happening right now? What is happening within my breath in this very moment? Just start to invite yourself to notice these things. And what we're doing is, by focusing on the now, we step out of this constant loop of catastrophizing and prediction and return to reality, or to the present, which is where we want to live. That's where we can develop that calmness and that groundedness. So you see, when we combine mindfulness awareness with total somatic sensing and feeling, we can create this full body conversation of safety within our body. This is when your nervous system knows it's actually okay to soften and release and let go. But I want you to remember, though, that clinical somatic movement, and in particular the total somatics approach, isn't just about relaxing, it's about re-educating your brain. You see, every slow bit of mindful movement that we're doing with total somatics, all of the clinical approaches that we use, we're building on a skill called interoception. And that's your ability to sense and feel from within, notice what's happening within your body. And there is a direct link between interoception and emotional regulation. So it's really important that we develop this inner awareness practice. And when we start to feel tension early on, because we've really heightened our skills of interoception, it's at that point we can allow things to release and let go, rather than letting them grow to the point where we feel overwhelmed. And that's really where I'd like to share with you how I can be of assistance with you moving forward. I'd really like to share with you my membership, Total Somatics. Within that, I have lots and lots of strategies and techniques for total somatic movement, mindset, and mindfulness. And with me, I can be there to support you every step of the way. I have regular Q&A sessions within the membership. There's on-demand classes, there are audio classes, there are lots of nervous system regulation strategies, techniques, and skills that you can develop too, just at your fingertips at a time that suits you. So if that sounds like something you'd like to look into, go to totalsomatics.com, click on the Join Now page, and then when you go there, you can see either there's the membership doors are open, and if they are, come on in, or if they're closed when you go to the Join Now page, please leave your details on the wait list, and when we open the doors again to the Total Somatics membership, you will be notified, and I'd love to welcome you in. So I look forward to seeing you in the future in the Total Somatics membership. But until next time, all my love, all my very best wishes. Take care. Bye. Thank you for joining me today. If you've enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and also forward this on to somebody you know will benefit. To learn more about pain relief, plus how to improve your health and well-being, go to totalsomatics.com. Until next time, take care.